I'm making an outdoor shower shampoo shelf and hose holder using a few router bits on this project. Pretty much just a handful of router bits that I usually use. I usually use 4 to 6 router bits for almost every project. And I almost always use this little router. This is the hose holder. I still need to attach that. This is the shampoo shelf. You can see that that fits in here with a dado, and then I cut this part out here using a dado blade in the table saw. And before I start to assemble this, I'm going to use a router. So for the back, I'm going to use a small chamfer all the way around. Right now I have a small roundover bit in the router, and I just realized that before I take this out of the router, there's a few more things I want to round over. I put it in here to round these pieces over. That's to help keep the hose from getting cut into by a sharp piece of wood. So I'm going to round over all the way around this front piece, and I'll probably soften this edge up too, and maybe the top of the shampoo shelf. When I made this part, the shampoo shelf, I used this router bit. This is a flush cut bit. And the way I did that was I took a small piece of MDF, bent it, used a little CA wood glue or CA glue and hot glue to hold this shape. Then I followed the shape with the bandsaw. Then I used this router bit to give me a nice clean cut. This is the top of the shelf, and I'm going to soften up the top. The bottom I'll do something different, but while I have the roundover bit in the router, I'll just soften up this edge. Now I'm done with the roundover. Take the battery out to change the bit. Got a little press here that locks it. And the thing is, with a router, you think you loosen it, but then the router bit doesn't come out, you see. You kind of have to get it past this locking point. So if you ever feel like your router bit is stuck, just keep going. So there it is. I can feel that it's loose now. So I'll take that out. Here is a chamfer bit. Put this one away. All right, before I start to use this, I'm going to test the height out on a piece of scrap wood. Okay, here's my piece of scrap wood. I think that looks pretty good. Now I'm done with the chamfer bit, and I'm going to replace it with a Cove Bit. Because I really do just use 4 or 5 router bits, it would make sense to have 4 or 5 small routers. It's something that I've been thinking about for years, I just never do it. I'm using the Cove Bit on the underside of the shelf. You can see that looks kind of heavy and chunky right now. The idea is to, if I had a pencil, the idea is to use that Cove Bit probably right to about there. And that'll give me a nice little profile and thin the front of the shelf out a little bit, make it look a little more elegant. I'll cut this profile in 2 passes. I'll make the cut, take a look at it. Maybe it's good. If not, then I'll just add a little bit more depth to it and give it another pass. You can see how that thins it a little bit. I don't know if you can see my line, but my line is right here. I might not go all the way to the line, but I'll probably go at least another heavy 1/16 of an inch. So this is what this looks like. And I think the profile on the bottom edge there makes a huge difference. It just lightens this piece up. You always want to think about what needs to be routed before you start to assemble. So I wouldn't be able to cut this profile if this shelf was attached. Same thing with the profile on the bottom of the shelf. Same thing with this round over here. So I routed the roundovers before attaching this piece to this piece. So now I'll give everything a good sanding and it'll be ready for finish. Okay, well here it is all put together. I gotta say, I love little projects like this, little useful projects. For me, it's what weekend woodworking is all about. Going out in the shop and getting something done. This thing is going to be used for decades. And there's something I think pretty cool about that. As you can see, those router bits really do make a big difference. The Cove Bit just lightens up this shelf. The round over softens it a bit, along with this piece here. And the curve couldn't have been made without the flush cut bit. I use a flush cut bit for making curves like this all the time. And of course the chamfer really dresses up this back. Without the chamfer, this just looks like a block of wood. I know that this is a pretty specific project, but if you do want to build it, I am going to give away free plans over at my newsletter. I have a newsletter every second Friday of the month. More of a behind the scenes look at things, some fun still photography, a look at what I'm going to be building in the near future. So I hope that you'll check that out. Very kind of fun, light read. And if you want to see what this looks like with the oil finish and installed, just stick around. I'm going to get right to it. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.